everybody. It is 1 o'clock on Wednesday, and I am here on the Periscope talking today about what your biggest parenting fear is and what my biggest parenting fear is. I'm going to let you in on a secret in a minute. I am typically not somebody who is generally afraid to do things, and I'm not a person who lives with wonder about things going wrong if I'm in a situation, or don't walk into a situation about anticipating a bad outcome. There are people in this world who are afraid to fly or might be afraid to be in a confined space. And that could be a manifestation of a lot of different things, an experience they had, prior in their lives, or just the news in general, right? I mean, some people are just afraid of what's going on in the world. But I think for me, in general, I'm not that person. I'm the optimist when it comes to trying new things, and I'm exploratory, and I like to find new places to go and experience new things, especially with my kids. I think that's super important too. I think that when you are raising your children and you're showing them that you're not afraid to do things, it allows them a little bit more wonder and excitement and less fear in their lives, because you're supporting them, and you're communicating that everything is going to be okay. And I think that's important, and I think that it's part of raising a healthy family and having a healthy mindset about trying to overcome something that you might be afraid of, right? I'm also a risk taker, right? I was not afraid to quit my job and start my own business and cash in some of our savings, as stressful as that could be, and has been a little bit. I'm not afraid of what's going to happen. I know that it's all going to be fine. I know that we're going to work hard, and I'm going to work hard, and we're going to make this happen, and it's all going to be okay. And that is not something that keeps me up at night. It's not something that weighs heavy on my mind. It's an experience. It's exciting. It's, a little bit scary, but it's also invigorating, and the outlook is big, and there's a lot of good stuff happening. So that doesn't scare me. Going outside with my children and walking across the street doesn't scare me. And I'm also the mom who's not a hoverer. So, I oftentimes forget to make them wear their helmets when they're riding their bikes around New York City or scooting down the street. That doesn't scare me. Living in a big city doesn't scare me. Being around millions of people every day doesn't scare me. Like, this stuff is I think it's all good stuff, and I think it's part of what is making us better people. I wrote my Pay It Forward post, and if you follow the Why Am I Yelling blog, you know that I do a weekly post on Fridays called Pay It Forward Friday, and that is where I highlight organizations or a person, or just something, do something nice for somebody else, or even just hey, check out these people, this is what they're doing, and they're doing telling really great stories and doing really great things, and that's what my Fridays are about. Except this Friday happened to happen on Tuesday, and it was because something important happened in our local community. And you think of living in New York City, and it's such a big place, and there are so many people, and you don't realize, if you don't live here, that there are neighborhoods. We all live in neighborhoods, right? And I moved to Brooklyn, our neighborhood in Brooklyn, Greenpoint, 10 years ago, when our oldest son was a brand new baby. And it really has been the first neighborhood that we've lived in where it feels like home, and it feels like a sense of community. And now that my children are growing up in this neighborhood and in this community, you learn all your local neighbors, and you learn, you're at school and you have your friends at school and you have your outside friends and your sports people that you hang out with, and you create your community, right? Your friends and your family and all the people that you socialize with and you interact with every single day. And so our school community was hit with some news last week, and it's been socialized this week, that one of our kids, who is in the 4th grade and is 9 years old, was diagnosed with cancer. And this is really the first time since I've been part of this in this school for the last 7 years that we've had something major happen, where the school community gathers together and puts their arms around, the little boy and his mother, who is, by the way, our parent coordinator. So she is a fixture in our school. She's on our playground in the morning welcoming the students, and she is at our meetings, and everybody knows her, and she's a wonderful, lovely, beautiful person. And now she has to deal with her son being sick, and on top of having a demanding job, it's not going to be an easy feat for her. So that got me to thinking. I mean, we've set up a GoFundMe page, and people are taking donations, and we have all banded together as a community to make sure that they are taken care of, because that's what you do. That's what you do as a family, as a school family, as a community, as a tight-knit group within the biggest city in the world. This is what we do. And so if you want to learn more about that situation, I encourage you to go to the Why Am I Yelling blog, because the whole story is there, and it's a good one. And if you're feeling generous and want to donate to their cause, that would be awesome too. But after I wrote my blog post last night, it got me to thinking about fear. And when you become a parent, all bets are off in terms of things you're afraid of. Because now you are responsible for these amazing little people. And for a long time, they don't have the capacity to make informed decisions, to be able to do things that they can't do, but they think that they can. And, like my 4-year-old thinks that he can go down the street by himself. And clearly we all know that that can't happen. So my 10-year-old can, but my 4-year-old can't. And so that's why we do what we do as parents. We guide them, and we instruct them, and we teach them, and we carry them along on their journey until they're old enough to make informed decisions about what they want to be doing. But it doesn't take away the fear. And so my biggest fear as a parent is that there will come a day when I won't be able to fix it for them, and I don't know what it is going to be. And it could be several times in their life, right? It could be as children, I might not be able to fix something. It might be a sickness. It might be a dilemma. It might be a broken bone, whatever. I can only hold your hand and help you through it, but I can't fix it. And I think that my biggest fear is being helpless to them. Because as their parents, you don't want to be that. You want to be the person who fixes it all the time, and you want to be the one they come to put the Band-Aid on the boo-boo and hold them tight at night when they've had a bad dream. And you want to encourage them to go out in the world and explore and do all these wonderful, beautiful things. And yet, at the same time, you're like, maybe you should just stay right here with me, because I don't want you to go anywhere. I want you to be with me. And so that, for me, I think is my biggest fear. My biggest fear is I'm not going to be able to help them when they need it the most. And then I started thinking about, well, then how do you overcome that fear? And I don't necessarily think that you do. I think that you work around it. I think that you work through it. I think that you, just like we have for our community in the last week, I think you come together and you rely on others to help you get through it. And I think that you you use your faith and you use your spirituality and you use your universe and your friends and your family and whoever wants to listen or whoever wants to talk about it. And I think that you express your message and you make it known and you find a community who will embrace you and help you through it. And that, I think, is how I will get through this fear of mine, if and when it's inevitable at some point in their lives. I probably won't be able to help them. It happens. Fear is it could be a very debilitating thing. And, like I said before, I don't dwell on the bad. I like to dwell on the good and see what happens and ride it out and, enjoy our lives and teach them about all the great things that are happening and learn about new cultures and new places to go and travel and be your best you, and teach my kids to be their best them, because their generosity and their kindness and their lack of fear for things is what is going to get them through their life, I think, in a positive way. So that, my friends, is my fear. My fear is not being able to fix it when they're going to need my help. And I will probably be relying on you when that happens. So that's my message for today. I encourage you to go to the Why Am I Yelling blog. The website is under a little bit of construction right now. I am putting together some really good offers. So stay tuned for that as well. And I am looking forward to being back on Periscope a little bit more often in the coming days. I've been taking part in a bunch of really cool stuff about growing Why Am I Yelling. So that's all happening too. And it's really, really very exciting. And I can't wait to share it with you. So come back. I'll let you know when my next Periscope is. It'll probably be in the next couple of days. I hope you guys have an awesome day. And we will talk to you soon. Thanks for sticking with me. And thanks for the hearts. See you soon. Bye, everyone.